And one of the girls looked up and said, "What happened to you? You look as if you'd seen a ghost." I said, "Or became one." And she said, "What happened?" I said, "Oh, never mind." "No," she said, "tell me. I know everything. I've been in the company since the beginning." Well, finally, I told her. Well, she started laughing. We'd only been in Chicago 2 days. She said, "He was having an affair with the girl who wore your costume in New York. And he obviously forgot where he was." So I've never had much of an ego problem, because I guess all cats are the same in the dark. And he couldn't never see, he never could see anything anyway. I was playing in a play called The Damask Cheek by John Van Druten with Flora Robson, whom I love dearly. And we had 10 minutes every evening before a scene we had together. And so she started out by saying, "You're going to be a star." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Why do you say that?" Well, she said, I say it because I know it. But I said, "Why?" She said, "I don't know. But I can only tell you I'm having a hell of a time holding my own in this play. If you're a star, the audience thinks you know, sewed the curtains and wrote the lines and, patted the furniture and everything." She said, "No, but it's going to happen." I said, "How?" She said, "You're going to be in a play which is so successful and you have such a good part in it. That's it. And from then on, you'll be starred." I said, "Oh, well, if you say so." But that's just how it happened. Because along came Oklahoma. Now, there was a war on, and there was a tremendous demand for entertainment in hospitals and camps. Every Sunday, I did a soldier show somewhere. Fort Dix, all over the place. So now I read in the papers that Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein were going to be working together for the first time. Going to make a musical out of a play called Green Grow the Lilacs. So now I called my friend at the Theater Guild, Elaine Steinbeck, which was Elaine Scott then, married to Zachary Scott. Then she married John Steinbeck. And I said, "Elaine, when is the next audition for Richard Rodgers?" She said, "Why?" She's from Texas. I said, "Because I want to sing for him." She said, "Can you sing?" Well, I said, "Of course I can sing." So grudgingly, she said, "All right, next Thursday, St. James Theater, bring your music and know your keys." I said, "Yes, ma'am." So the next Thursday, I showed up in the pouring rain, carrying my music. Well, she came flying backstage, saying, "Be great, be great, be great." And in the excitement, we were walking up 3 steps. And I wasn't paying attention because I was listening to her. So then I turned to make my entrance, not remembering that I just walked up 3 steps, and sailed off into midair and fell flat on my face in front of Richard Rodgers with all my music skating out in front of me and my belt busted. Final indignity. And there was a pause. He said, "That's pretty funny. Could you do it again?" And I said, "I'd rather not." And he said, "My name is Richard Rodgers. What are you going to sing?" I said, "My name is Celeste Holm. Who is Sylvia?" "Oh, good." He said, "I haven't heard that this year." So I sailed into a Sylvia, and I never sang better in my life. Why? Because I wasn't nervous. Once you fall on your face, got nowhere to go but up. So he said, "My God." I said, "Is that good?" He said, "You have a trained voice." And I said, "Haven't I?" Well, I said that because I was just surprised that he was. Then he said, "Could you sing now as if you'd never had a lesson in your life?" I said, "I don't know. What does that sound like?" He said, "Well, let's see." I said, "I can call a hog. We have that farm, you know. The neighbors have pigs." He said, "You can? I dare you." So on the stage at the St. James Theater, I said, "Sweet!" and hung on to it for a long time. None came, but he said that was loud enough, and that was funny enough, and that's how I got my job in Oklahoma. Everybody saw me in Oklahoma. And my agent said, "For God's sake, get going in pictures." So I went out to Hollywood and studio that gave me the most money, my agent persuaded me to go with. Oscar said, so you're going to Hollywood? Well, I said yes, because I'm getting an awful lot of offers, and I want to go out and see what I think. Well, he said, you won't like it, and they'll never understand you, which was in a way a compliment, because what he was saying was they never really understood him. I'd been there before when I was in Leslie Howard's Hamlet. We'd ended the tour there, but of course that was quite different. I remember passing the Beverly Hills Hotel, saying, I'll stay there sometime, and of course I did. Well, I loved the place. I loved the weather, I loved the climate, I thought it was very pretty. Well, I knew Danny Kaye's wife in New York. Danny Kaye's wife was a very unhappy woman because she knew that he had married her because he could get material for nothing from her. When I got to Hollywood, he asked me out to lunch. And I thought, oh, how nice. So we were at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and we had ordered whatever, and the waitress was wandering off, and he said, well, what do you want to do here? You know, I still don't know what he wanted me to say. Maybe he wanted me to say, I'd like to work with you. Well, I said I'd like to make pictures that touch people's hearts. He looked at me and he went, waitress. And he paid the check and left. We never ate anything. And then I found that because Hollywood is a visual medium place, they're the same way about life. They don't care how things really are. They just care how things look. And then I couldn't stand it, because it wasn't real. If you have a pretty house and a pretty car, you're happy, yes? Not necessarily.
Fox Movie Channel celebrates our stars with birthdays in April. See who shares your birthday. Alec Guinness, Doris Day, Marlon Brando, Wayne Newton, Alec Baldwin, Betty Davis, Gregory Peck, Sonia Henney, Harry Morgan, Paul Douglas, Bradford Dillman, William Holden, Dudley Moore, George O'Brien, Andy McDowell, Shirley Temple, Simone Simone, Judy Davis, Shirley MacLaine, Al Pacino, and Celeste Holm. Happy birthday from Fox Movie Channel.
Wednesday at 10, Robert Wagner hosts Fox Movie Channel's Hour of Stars, our exclusive series that brings lost performances and restored classics to a new generation.
I break the arrow.
A fragile ceasefire between the U.S. and the Apache nations.
Wrongs have been done by both Indian and white men. You are not like other white men.
And a strong bond between two men.
We are brothers.
But will a woman tear them apart?
I will go with you.
Ricardo Montalban and Rita Moreno, before they were famous, star in the restored classic Broken Arrow, unseen for almost half a century, one of Fox Movie Channel's Hour of Stars, hosted by Robert Wagner. Wednesday at 10, only on Fox Movie Channel.
I'll see you there.
Darling, have you been thinking of me?
When can I see you again?
Whenever you can manage.
He's a married man.
He was married.
He'd be too old for you.
You can't marry him, you can't. He's not a sane man, Evie.
The fact that it involved a multimillionaire from Pittsburgh
And one of the greatest architects of our time doesn't change anything. What happened that summer night in Madison Square Garden was homicide.
The girl in the red velvet swing.